What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Zebec today, ZBCN. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. It is the 10th day of August, and here we are at about 0052. I'm glad that we haven't gone anywhere fast with ZBCN. I mean, at the lowest price we saw, it was 0051, so we are still above our most recent low call here. It is possible we could go lower. I'm not really under that impression at the moment, especially with Bitcoin acting up, pun intended there, like acting up, moving up. Anyways, 0052 right now, 8 hours, 4 minutes left in the day. Looking at the 1 hour time frame, we'll come from here and then we'll push out. Looking at this, the RSI is reluctant to get oversold after being overbought. Nice. You have been living below the 50 for a second, and that's not nice. But overall, I think that you are in a more bullish stance than a bearish stance. I like that you rejected the oversold zone there. You're also turning the tide with your stochastics here, getting some, I wouldn't say bullish divergence, but bullish momentum building, finding support at the oversold zone as well with this most recent touch point. Same thing with the MACD. You can see that this red histogram is dying off and looking like it wants to cross green. So good things are happening right now, and I would think that we do shift upwards. If, however, I'm wrong, if we do move down, and let's just see, looking at this here, maybe some people are worried about this from this low here to this low, we've broken that trend line, or from this low to this low, we've broken that trend line, whatever. Typically, once you go below these, look at this trend line here, and then look at the trend line over here, right? Notice how right here with this trend line, the best time to buy, right below the line. When was the best time to buy here? Right, oh, sorry, not here, my bad. When was the best time to buy here? Right below the trend line. So we're actually in a good area to buy, I think, and with this 1 hour indicators looking the way that they do, I would think that we do move up from here. I'm not worried about the price at all. I very much do think that we're in good shape and we will continue to grow. Looking at this on a 4 hour time frame, it's almost like you have an ascending triangle, right? Higher lows and a flat top. You're breaking out of it a little bit now, but again, I'm not worried about that. Stochastics look like they're showing, is that bullish divergence or just bullish convergence? You got a higher low, so it's not bullish divergence technically, but it still looks good. MACD is at an area where you'd expect it to bounce off the zero. You did bounce off the zero here, but you didn't get the reaction we're looking for. That does beg the question, are we going to continue to move down? Let's entertain that thought. Because I haven't entertained that thought, and I don't think we're going to move down, but let's entertain that thought, okay? If ZBCN were to move down, where it would move down to. Now, this is the low. This is not the high. Some people might be looking at this and like, why aren't you taking that high? Because how I do fibs, and there's a million ways to skin a cat. Maybe we can look at both of them, but it's too new to really tell right now. But the way that I like to do it is I'll take this low, and then I'll take this high because this is the fake out high. Fake out equals not, or it at least implies not as reliable. I'm going to take the actual high of this actual move, not the consolidation phase itself. So low to high here, drawing this fib, the areas that we'd have in mind if we were to go lower would be the 236 to the 382. Something between about 00475 to 00414. Could you go lower? Sure, but I doubt it. That would be the lowest area of intent if we were to go lower. Now, what I did not just say was sell now and then buy back at a lower price. Don't buy here and then buy back at a lower price. If we go down there, sure, go ahead and buy. That's probably great areas to buy, but it's very possible at this point in time that we continue to move up higher. So don't mistake what I just said. I wasn't talking about us going down because I'm thinking we're going down. I'm just entertaining the thought. Really, I'm thinking that we're going to move up here, but there are some things that put that into question, I suppose. I hate that I have to clear my throat so much, man. But lower lows in the RSI, higher lows in the price technically for now. That is hidden bullish divergence. You're at the same area where you found support the past few times. I wouldn't be surprised if you continue to move up from here. And you're at an area where you would expect to find support on the MACD. You did it over here. Just do it. Do it. You just got to do it at this point, right? Looking at the daily time frame, expecting that the price action will continue higher. Stochastics are bullish overall. RSI, the RSI is bullish, but I don't like that rejection off the overbought zone, to be completely fair. But you are at areas where you'd expect to bounce after that rejection, too. And I'm not a fan of the MACD looking like it's about to cross. If we are expecting it to go higher, I have to admit, looking at the daily time frame right now, maybe we are about to go lower. we're right at a point here, both on the daily time frame and the 4-hour time frame, where you're either going to bounce or you're not going to bounce. You're either going to bounce or you're not going to bounce. So if you don't bounce, you're going to go lower. Understand, if like 2 days goes by and you're at this same price, you're probably going to go lower. If you're even a little bit lower than this, if you go back down to this low, you're probably going to go lower. How much lower? Again, the area would be 004. What is it actually? 00475 to 00414, and maybe even a little bit below that. Even it's somewhat common to go just below your 382. So maybe let's say at the lowest, like 004 itself, but I doubt you get below 004. I have to admit, we're not getting the reaction that we were looking for on the daily time frame so far. And with this on the RSI, you found support at the 60, which was nice 2 days ago, but you didn't continue with that, and you actually kind of rejected right there. So depending on how today closes, depending on how this next like 36 hours goes, I would say you really could be moving down a little bit. And that's okay. Move down a little bit. Cool off. Cool off. You're right about to break out to new all-time highs. Consolidate. Do that. Just correct. And then you'll move up, going into the end of the month, going into September. Should be fine. I would think still by the end of the month you will be at new all-time highs. But I have to admit the daily right now is making me cautious. I will say, though, again, with that, you are at a point where on the daily time frame, with the RSI, the stochastics, and the MACD, you're at a point where if you were to bounce and continue growing, you would do it here. You would do it right here. So either you do or you don't. Time will tell. If anybody's like, okay, so what are you saying? Are you saying it's going to go up or it's going to go down? This is one of those rare situations where I don't really have an opinion. I have an opinion both ways. And I always do have an opinion both ways, but I normally tell you which side I'm leaning toward. I want to say, I guess if I'm pulling my own thoughts here, I would say that I think we're going down. I was a bit more optimistic in the beginning of this video. The 1 hour looks very convincing, but the 4 hour and the daily, they're at a make it or break it point. They're not bearish yet. There are some bearish things going on, but it's either they do or they don't. So watch this backfire in my face here. But I'm going to call for it to go down, I suppose, yes. I wasn't going to do that. I was going to leave it open because I don't like making calls in these kind of situations, but why not? If I'm leaning with my gut, what I'm thinking is going to happen, I guess I am leaning with the idea that we do move down. Double top-esque, M pattern-esque. It would make sense, I would think, as far as if we were to move lower too. I would actually think that we move below 0047. I think that we do go all the way down to 004, 00414, something in that area. I'm going to stick with that. I think that's what's going to happen. Yeah. Something down there, consolidate, and then going into the end of the month, we should be breaking out to new all-time highs, and into September, you should be seeing fantastic growth. So you'll consolidate now. I mean, you've been consolidating for a little bit of time, but I think you'll consolidate now for at least the rest of this coming. Well, I mean, this week ends in 7 hours 56 minutes, but you'll probably consolidate all of next week too. Or I'm wrong, which, not to toot my own horn, but that's a rarity with ZBCN. I'm pretty damn good. I don't know what it is about Zebec, but me and this thing are in tune. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm not invested in it. That's another thing too. People back here were saying, you're not invested in it, so your opinion doesn't matter. But I would actually think that makes my opinion less biased, right? Right? You who have your whole life savings in it, all you want is, it's going up, it's going up. You can't have the dynamic view, right? I'm not attached to this thing, so I'm only attached to it for you guys. I know that there's a lot of people who watch these videos. I know that there's people who are YouTubers who are friends of mine who also are invested in this. Shout out to Crypto Future on that note. And I want to see this thing just go through the roof for all you guys. I love hearing and seeing people make money. I love it. It makes me happy, man. It really does make me happy. But I don't know if we're gonna have that joy right now. Right? Hopefully it's not sadness. Hopefully it's not despair. Hopefully there's a lot of you who feel like you've missed the boat and you didn't have an opportunity to buy in, and you get that opportunity thrown back at you a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we went a little bit below 0047, 004 to 0042, something in that zone there, and then move up. When you do move up, I'm expecting we go all the way up to 2 cents at a minimum, 4.5 cents at a maximum. This is just another opportunity, maybe, to snag prices at a suitable level to actually ensure that you will get a 10x if we were to go all the way up to 4.5 cents. I personally, out of this whole zone, 4.5 cents to 2 cents itself, just below 2 cents, I personally am expecting something around 3 cents, if not between 3 and 4.5 cents there. Okay, but I like this area personally, but we'll see. Time will tell. I've got nothing else for you. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Yeah, if we were to move up higher, if I'm wrong, I wouldn't be surprised. The odds, I wouldn't even say the odds are in the favor of going down. That's just what I'm going with. But it's pretty 50-50. You really are at a split decision moment right now. And when I say split decision, I mean it could go either way. So if you start to close days, above this high, if you get above 0.0588, I know it's not helpful because it's like, oh, if you get higher, well, you're moving higher, obviously, right? But that's kind of what it's going to take. Until then, you're just range bound, right? Until then, you're range bound. And it's very possible that from here, from this range, you come back to the golden ratio right there at 0.046. That could very well be where you find support right at the golden ratio. Get a little double bottom at this area and go lower. Maybe you capitulate. You get a little, and I say capitulate, it's really not capitulation, but short-term capitulation, where you break this low, but you find support at these prior highs, and that would be right there at 0.044. I could see that happening. Or, of course, make your way all the way down to 0.004 itself. But one way or another, you're going higher. You're going to see new all-time highs, and I think at this point in time, what calls for that will be a daily close above 0.0588, let's say. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your animals and your plants. They need water. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.